Hello bearded bee people, welcome back to B&K Bees. Today is, I was going to say beautiful because it feels really nice out, Saturday afternoon. It's the 26th, I think, of July, and it's just a couple days after I was out here at this new yard talking about needing to fill some of these hives out with more resources, with food and bees and brood, because some of them dwindled a little bit since I set them out, and now we are here with those resources. I am not going to put them in those hives today, just because of the fact that we just pulled these from their parent hives. There's a lot of foragers in here. I'm going to let them convince themselves or become convinced of the fact that they're queenless, so I'm going to do that tomorrow. But yeah, so I'm just going to go through and kind of figure out exactly which hives need what, and divvy them up, because we've got a bunch of honey frames, a bunch of brood frames, a bunch of pollen, just pretty much everything that a hive would ever need. So I guess I'll pick this back up tomorrow. Hello bearded bee people, welcome back to B&K Bees. So I'm finally out at the newest yard that we have, the one where we had that dud split. Well, we had a couple splits that kind of shrunk over the week or 2 weeks after I split them. And so now I'm finally out here doing what I said I was going to do, and that is kind of fortifying these boxes. And I've really good news. I've been through 15 of them, and all 15 are queen right, and they all had queen cells 2 weeks ago. So that is perfect, literally perfect so far. And now I'm here to the one that I made the video about, the Fixing the Dud split video, and they are queen right as well. I don't have my tripod out here, so I don't know how well this is going to work, but I'm going to try to show you some of it. Alright, so here's what we're looking at. This is pretty obviously a brood frame. We've got nice single eggs pretty much all throughout it. But, and I'm sorry for the camera work here, I really am. Like I said, I just don't have my tripod. I know where it is, I just didn't bring it with me. So, the problem here is that tomorrow will be August, and this is 1, 2, 3.5 frames of bees. And obviously that's not a great recipe for success. If I left this here and let them to their own devices, I don't think that they'd get built up quite enough, because we've got about 2 months, and they have, 6 frames that they should draw out and fill up with nectar. And I don't want to have to be out here every other day during September filling up feeders. I'd love to come out here and fill up a few communal buckets and call it good. And so in order to be able to do that, I've got to fortify these bees a little bit. And so you see over here, we've got some resources. A couple days ago, I went through the remaining hives that I was supposed to split in the earlier portion of July and pulled out tons of resources from bee bread and nectar and capped honey and brood and bees. Just basically some splits that I don't plan on letting, become splits by themselves. So we are going to add this stuff to these kind of straggling colonies. So I've got, obviously this is a beautiful honey frame, and then in there we've got a honey and brood frame. And these bees, or these frames, have been queenless for, I think, 3 days. So my minimum is a day. 3 days. It's just fantastic. There will be very minimal amount of fighting, and I highly doubt any issues will arise. That would be an issue if I was putting them in directly after pulling them out of another hive, because foragers can be assholes, especially to queens that aren't theirs. But these bees have been queenless for, like I said, probably about 3 days, so they're ready to accept a queen. And then we have the added insurance of the fact that the bees inside the hive with the queen are going to do everything they can to protect her. I wouldn't, however, overload a small split with frames from another hive, especially if it's only been queenless for a few hours. Try to put, fewer bees, fewer stranger bees into the hive than the occupants, just to kind of keep the ability to protect that queen there. But like I said, the necessity of that goes down for the longer that you leave the bees queenless, because they are just about ready to accept anything that they can call a queen. And so I am going to pull out this side frame. This frame's heavy as heck. I'm going to have to set this down. Okay, so we got a honey frame in there. Let's go over here, grab a honey and brood frame. Looks pretty good. Will definitely boost this colony quite a lot. Once again, I'm sorry, I've got to set this down. Alright, starting to look better. I'm going to grab another one. And then that'll be it. We'll be adding 3 frames to 3.5 frames. Okay, now they're queen right, and they're covering, 60 or 70% of that box as opposed to about a third. And like I said, they have 2 months to get heavy, get well populated, draw all this stuff out, propolize it all together, and that's more than enough time, especially considering the boost that they just received. So if you have a dud split and it's getting late in the year, pull out resources from another colony, let them sit around for a day or so to become aware of the fact that they're queenless, and then just throw them on in there and let them contribute to the mass that is this colony. So, I don't know, I hope you liked it. Sorry for the crappy camera work, although, as a lot of you know, it's not ever professional in terms of camera work. But thanks for watching. Get out there and have some fun with your bees. See ya.